lipstick on you. Okay. Hi, I'm Devi Erickson.
And I'm Dr. Chris Erickson.
And welcome to Tantra Talks. We have been practicing and teaching authentic lineage-based Tantra for almost 2 decades, y'all.
And we currently live with our root Lama, who is an ordained Lama of the Shangpa Kagyu lineage of Tibetan Tantric Buddhism.
Y'all, we live with a freaking Lama. I'm just saying, Tantra is too legit to quit. Y'all, too legit to quit. We know Tantra inside, outside, upside down, smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh no, we need a body bag.
Join us for Tantra Talks every Thursday, where we answer your questions about Tantra, about sex, and about intimacy.
Tantra Talks, too legit to quit. Too legit to quit. So we're answering a question about how semen retention can enhance your lovemaking as a couple. And I'm going to speak from the perspective of a heterosexual couple because that's currently the situation. So, ode to the things I love about semen retention with my partner. So what I love about semen retention, using the fact that you're it's more than semen retention. So you are, just to put this in perspective for everybody, you are a fully multi-orgasmic, non-ejaculatory, ejaculate purely by choice. There's no more oopsies, like you've been doing this for a decade, like you ejaculate when you want to, how often you want to,
how much I want to,
and even how much you want to, right? You can actually regulate how much release, how much fluid you release, right? You still have a full orgasm, but you regulate how much fluid release. And I've watched you have non-ejaculatory orgasms that literally your toes are curling and you've used no blocks, just using your breath and internal muscular control and the redirection of your energy, right? So I would say that you have more mastery over your ejaculatory choice than my tantric mentor, who had been practicing for like 30 years at that point, right? So no shade, I'm not trying to be like, oh, he was bad and you were good. I'm just saying that I'm in awe. Color me awe. I'm in awe of your accomplishment. Like it takes, and your accomplishment was a result of your practice, right? Nobody handed it to you. No one gave it to you. And it wasn't even like super hard practice. It's like we say like, oh, accomplishment practice. You're masturbating, guys. That's your practice. Sure. You're gonna masturbate anyway. So you may as well throw some Tantra in the mix and have it be medicine too, right? Yeah. Like if you're gonna practice, have it be practiced so that you're going to win the prize, okay? So we're going to describe what the prize looks like at the end. So for me as a woman, making love with you, with my male partner, knowing that you have total choice over your ejaculatory response gives me so much freedom and peace of mind. Because for most of my life, it's like, as a woman, we get excited up to a certain point, and then you guys are like, okay, slow down. Okay, no, I gotta stop. Like they can't handle it. So I'm like, my whole, most of my life, it was like most of my sexual life, it's like I'd be getting I'd just be starting to get reach those higher levels of arousal and pleasure, and it would be over. Because we either had to pause, stop, which is okay. Like in the beginning, you're gonna have to pause. That's okay. I would rather pause and then keep going than not pause and then have it be totally over, right? So that's the case. So usually my whole sexual history up until 17 years ago was that I would get super aroused and then either the party would be over or I'd have to stop. Usually it would be the party would be over. Usually the guys would ejaculate, right? And that means it's over. It's over. The party's over for us, right? So that actually builds up an obstacle to me being able to fully let go sexually. It creates an anxiety and a tension because I want more than 2 to 7 minutes of sex. I want more than 10 minutes of penetration. I would like a fucking full 30 minutes or more of penetration, right? That's what I signed up for. But when you as a man don't have control over your ejaculatory response, then anytime I start to feel really aroused, I get anxious that it's going to be over.
Yep.
So it creates this like self-defeating thing where I'm actually subconsciously and sometimes consciously blocking my own orgasm, blocking my own pleasure, because I don't want to get too heated. I don't want to get right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
So that's one thing. So it's removed any anxiety. It instills trust, and like I know that you got me. So like what that means for me is I have so much space to ride the waves of pleasure. I have space to like, oh, my pleasure just dropped for some reason. So let's go explore that. Because the other thing is like, you're not attached to coming. You're not attached to climaxing. You know you're going to come. You know you're empowered in your orgasm, so you can have them with or without me, and as many as you want. So like that gives me space to really honor the holistic experience of sex that I have as a woman. And so my holistic experience may look like high states of pleasure and then lower states of pleasure. It may look like numbness. It may look like, my eyeballs melting. Like it's this whole, I go through many lifetimes in one lovemaking session, right? Or I can potentially go through many lifetimes, right? Mm. And so having the safety of the container of you got this piece. Yeah. Like I don't have to worry in my pretty little head. Like, if there's ever a point where you get too close, you know how to take care of it. You know how to like intervene and interject and communicate your needs. But because you are so skilled and accomplished, there's like a huge range of experience that I get to explore in our lovemaking that I didn't have access to before because I was so terrified that, the guy I was with was going to bust his nut, blow his wad. So I couldn't explore all these different states of pleasure, and I couldn't pay attention to my whole experience because the goal was his ejaculatory orgasm. So what was happening for me wasn't as important as making sure that he got to pop off. Yeah. Right? So those are some other things that I love about how me as a woman, how it enhances my experience of lovemaking. And also it's also like, again, because there isn't this goal of the climactic orgasm, the focus is on connection. So it's like, I love like the slowness. I love the way you penetrate me, like, which is just like micro massage penetration, I want to call it. It's a micro massage. And like, we have all the time in the entire fucking universe because the goal is like what we're experiencing moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. Absolutely. And the goal is connection. So anytime that I may lose connection or feel, disconnected, like the whole function of us being together is to presence that connection. So, and again, the semen retention or which semen retention is like where you start, right? Like your full multi-orgasmic tantric male, whatever, which is the realization of the semen retention, gives me so much space to explore my own sexual reality and explore what that feels like, to ride these waves and navigate these depths together. So how about for you? How does your semen retention enhance our sex, baby?
Wow. That actually has so many layers to it. First of all, just in terms of arousal and time of arousal, for the female body, you're looking at 25 to 40 minutes before full engorgement takes place. Well, if as a man I can last 2 to 7, I'm going to be falling short all the time. So step one of the semen retention is learning how to control and restrain and direct that arousal so that you can maintain it for longer. So that at when you're 25 to 40 minutes in, you're like, I'm ready to go. Right? As opposed to like, well, hang on, I was, I dropped off 38 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. You're left in the dust. And that's what I was talking about. That's what I mean. It's like, if you're done and I'm only reaching my first stages of engorgement, like there's a whole world of pleasure potential that I'm unable to access if I'm reliant on you.
It's like owning a Ferrari and only ever driving it at 20 miles an hour.
That's exactly correct. Yeah, it's like owning a Ferrari and only ever driving it at 20 minutes.
What's the point? Right?
Yeah, it's untapped potential.
Exactly. So for me, the process of learning how to, first of all, separate first of all, how to separate orgasm and ejaculation, understanding those as two separate things, and then how to tune into the more and more and more subtle levels of what an orgasm is. And in the process of doing that, you're tuning in more and more and more to what you find pleasurable, to who and what you are as a person, not just, yes, as a sexual being, but who and what you are as a being on this planet. So the benefits of semen retention for me have gone way past the bedroom. It takes the fact that I now know that I can control my sexual response to the degree that I can, takes any issues of performance anxiety out of the question entirely. It takes a lot of the grasping, the like, oh, I better get it now because I'll never get it again. Mm-hmm. It takes that out of the picture. Mm-hmm. It takes the urgency of like, got to get this done right now. It takes that out of the picture. And again, it gets me more and more and more in tune to the subtle operations of who I am, which is a more full understanding of who I am, because I don't just operate on a gross level. We all operate on much more levels than that. Mm-hmm. And so to get in tune with the subtle aspects of myself mm-hmm. has been enormously important. And because I'm in tune to that, the subtle aspects of you are not so different. So it's easier for me to attune that way too. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I can tune into myself really well. I can tune into you very well because again, we're not that different.
So it's attunement. It deepens attunement, which is an actual need that we have as humans, is attunement, right? Yeah. Emotional attunement. So you attuning to you gaining control over your ejaculatory responses allowed you to attune to your inner nature and your inner beingness more, which then allows you to attune to and connect with me more fully as your partner. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And it takes work, it takes time, it takes patience. Right, lots of patience. And the beauty of it is that if you quote unquote get it wrong, you ejaculate.
Which is not the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's not the worst thing in the world. I again with the ejaculation mastery course that the Institute teaches, I have a number of people that ask questions like, oh no, I did it wrong and I ejaculated. Is this okay? And it's like, well, the whole life that you've lived up to this point, that's been the whole point. So that would have been a success before. So your failure this time is what you used to consider a success. That's not an inversion, that's an elevation. Mm-hmm. And which is pretty remarkable. And so again, giving yourself space and time to learn, to unlearn, to entrench those burned in pathways that have been there since you became sexually active, whenever that was, since you started going, hey, wait a minute, I do this and it feels good. All the pathways that have been burned in since then have to be unburned in. Those ones have to be slowly abandoned and new pathways burned in. And those new pathways can lead you to places that the first one never could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they talk about in Tantra, not Tantra, trauma is like the pruning or the, like we prune neural pathways that don't serve us or, don't mean it's for survival at the expense of other pathways that could, be more expansive.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then Tantra with its capacity to transcend, transform, and sometimes transgress is really good at opening up more of those pathways. Mm-hmm. So you're not just reliant on just one.
Well, and they're the subtle. I love that you talk about the subtlety because Western culture is like the antithesis of subtlety, right? Yeah. We want it like hard, fast, in your face. We want the bells and the whistles. And Tantra is a game of subtleties. And and not just Tantra. It's like our human awareness has so much nuance and so much subtlety. Like it's a crime. And it's a shame to like burn those subtleties out, to just focus on like the goals of capitalism that capitalism waves in our face, as opposed to being able to access like our holistic human experience with
Yeah.
all the subtleties and nuances. So
I mean, capitalism currently, but just about every human system that's been put in place, before that, feudalism, et cetera, empire, all of it.
well, those are all profits over people. So
Exactly.
that's I just call
Yeah,
that capitalism.
exactly.
So another thing that I've loved to see and experience as a beneficial result of semen retention is the variety of orgasms that you have. Like, usually for orgasms for men, it's like one thing. It's like,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like a full body sneeze is essentially what it looks like from us, from my end. But so like being with you for a decade through this experience of gaining ever greater mastery over your ejaculatory, choice. And observing like how, when we're making love, like you can have multiple orgasms fully penetrated with no ejaculation and just like these beautiful wave-like orgasms. And what I love about that is like often when you start to orgasm, it increases the orgasmic energy in my body, so I'll orgasm as well. And so this concept of folks have is like, oh, can you orgasm together? It's like when you have semen retention and you become a multi-orgasmic male, like that's such a, I don't mean to throw shade, y'all, but it's like a stupid fucking question. Like, can you orgasm? Like, when do you not orgasm together is kind of the question. It's like when you're making love for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, and you're both multi-orgasmic, orgasm isn't this goal anymore, y'all. It's not like this like, oh my God, I'm gonna have an orgasm, that's it. It's just like, the goal is that you're making love and you're going to have a shit ton of fucking orgasms.
Yeah.
And it's really, I mean, they're not like, they're nice
Yeah.
and they're fabulous. And like, there's so many different kinds of orgasms. And like some of them are like, whoa, I had this orgasm the other night that I was talking about, that like we broke a curse during our lovemaking. And I felt I felt like a sheath pulled off the front of my body, and particularly my arms. It felt like someone was pulling a sweater or the sleeves of a shirt off. And that was like, I had this amazing blissful orgasm. At the same time, I've got like somebody's hex coming off the front of my body. Like it's a whole other experience when we're making love when we ourselves, have a fully functional vagina that feels pleasure. And then we're with a partner who has a fully functional organ that he has choice and control over. Like it's not even a question of orgasm. It's just like, how many different flavors did you have if you feel like counting? Because again, the whole experience is the goal, not just like, did you come at the end and ooh, did we get to come together? It's like, how many times did we ever not come together?
Well, yeah. And
does it even fucking matter? Like that's the thing.
You made this point before when we were talking about timing. You said you get very aroused. So you have attunement, but then a step beyond that is union.
Yeah.
In which case, if you're aroused, that arousal is transferred immediately.
Yeah.
And without resistance, water into water.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
It just flows back and forth easily. So the whole holy grail of a simultaneous orgasm becomes like ordinary.
It's so normal.
Yeah.
It's like, when do we not come together? Like I have to be like, I have to actually think. And then like it doesn't even matter. Like and if you're having an orgasm, I'm like, yay!
Yeah.
And then like I have orgasms, you're like, yay!
Exactly.
Like,
and we've had occasions where we've literally swapped them back and
we
forth
just pass
a
them
bunch
back
of
and
times.
forth. Yeah, exactly.
I mean it's and it happens like one then fires off another and then fires off another, fires off another. And so there's no like, I'm orgasmed, I've had an orgasm, I'm done now.
Yeah,
it's like
game over.
No, it's.
I mean, we usually stop because you're like you get a cramp in your calf, so you need more magnesium, love. You need more magnesium, but that's usually why we stop making love, not because we had an orgasm when we're done. Like, oh,
my
let's
muscles
stop.
Are tired.
Your muscles are tired, so we need to change position, right?
Exactly. Or we've hit some emotional thing that requires our attention, and that's totally okay. It's not like but it's
there's
like,
no loss.
There's no loss. You just float. Okay, that's what's happening now, and that becomes a continuation of exactly what we were doing before. And so that deep connected intimacy is omnipresent, both when we're making love and when we're not. And that's the beauty, and being able to tap into those subtleties, attuning to myself, which allows me to tune into you better. You can carry that into every day. You can carry that into everything.
I love that, omnipresent. And that's entirely correct. It's like it doesn't stop when we wake up the next day or leave the bedroom. It doesn't stop. That connection, because the focus is on here, that connection is omnipresent. I love that.
Yeah, it is.
I love that. All right. So there you go. That answers your question about how semen retention can enhance your lovemaking. Like, semen retention is just the first step, y'all. There's like a whole freaking universe beyond that.
A lot more to it.
And we're here to share it with you. Hey there, thanks for listening to Tantra Talks. We hope you loved this episode as much as we did. Make sure you like and subscribe to Tantra Talks on all your favorite listening outlets, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, so you don't miss a single juicy episode.
And make sure you head over to authentictantra.com and register for our free introduction to Tibetan 5-element Tantra. Heal, transform, and empower your life with authentic lineage-based Tantra.
Too legit to quit. Too legit to quit. Too legit to quit.